Hi, I'm Dr. Tom Liam Lynch at Pace University, and I want to take just a few moments to share with you some of the things we're doing here around integrating computer science into teaching and learning. Now, you probably have heard about computer science and coding and programming in schools, as it's been something that all over the country there's been increasing interest in. At the same time, we started asking ourselves some different questions about all of that here. Like, what if the way in which we're going about integrating computer science into K 12 schools or into teacher preparation, what if the way in which we're going about that could look differently? What if we're going about it in ways that are unnecessarily limiting or is maybe even keeping some people out from learning anything about computer science or programming at all? Now, part of where we're coming from is we think when we talk about computer science or programming, what we're actually talking about are languages. That is, we're talking about computational languages and the way in which they work in the world. Well, that's interesting, you might say. Computational languages, I get that. Well, if we treat them as languages, then we might start to think about some different ways to teach computer science to young people and to teachers. For example, if they're languages, then maybe we should be teaching computer science a bit more like we teach reading and writing. Maybe there are things that we can learn from the way in which composition professors teach composition, or the way in which foreign language instructors teach foreign languages. So, as we started thinking a bit differently about computer science and how it's positioned in teaching and learning, we started also to think about, well, maybe we're also treating it like too much as a technical subject, and maybe there's another way to think about it. In fact, recently I gave a talk where I said there are two main problems with computer science. And the first problem is computer, and the second problem is science. That is, if when we call it computer science, what we do is we start treating it like a technological endeavor as opposed to thinking about it more like a language. So I started working with colleagues here at the university to try to reimagine the way in which we approach computer science in schools. With one colleague, Dr. Gerald Ardito, we started exploring something we call BardBots. And BardBots is a project in which we set students up with excerpts from Shakespearean plays. We have them analyze those scenes like you would in a traditional English class, but then we ask the students to program robots to perform the scenes. Sounds crazy, but you'd be amazed to see some of the ways in which young people start engaging with robotics, yes, but also with literature as a result. At the same time, I'm working with a student here who has taken that notion of bard bots and Shakespeare and robots, and she started to create a version of it where students here at the university look at excerpts from Friends, scenes from Friends episodes, and they program the robots to reenact scenes from Friends. Her name is Anna Glauchtenko, and she's awesome. And finally, I'm working with a colleague in the School of Arts and Science named Dr. Kelly Kreitz to create something called Babel Lab, which is a Center for Digital Humanities Pedagogy and Research. And that's where we continue to think about the ways in which we're teaching computer science, we're teaching the humanities, and just to explore ways to blur the lines between the two. The School of Education is also looking at ways to integrate computer science into some core education courses. Like what a lot of schools are doing right now is they might identify a particular like computer science in the classroom class, and that will be the place where you learn about computer science methods and different sorts of content areas. But again, if we think about it more broadly as computational thinking and we think about computational languages, then it could be that what we need to do is we actually have to try to find ways to embed computer science into core content classes and to think about computer science as a way to deepen and expand the kinds of disciplines that we already engage with on a daily basis. So that's just a little bit of what we're up to here at PACE. And you can learn more by going to babellab.org or by Googling PACE University School of Education and check out more.